Hi everybody, in today's video we're going to talk about how to schedule your prospecting calls, or what some call cold calls. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and I hope it becomes one of your favorite topics too. The topic is how to schedule your prospecting calls or sales calls. Now, a lot of people call them cold calls, and cold calls are fine. I mean, there is a negative connotation to the fact that it's almost like a cold dead body you're trying to pick to see if there's anything of value there. I prefer to call it prospecting calls. And prospecting calls to me are a great use of time because much easier than attending networking events, which I think you should do when it's safe to do so again. Much more effective than email because you get basically feedback almost instantaneously. And it's just really efficient. On a given day, if I have an hour set aside for cold calls, I can make between 5 and 20 calls in that hour. 5 if I'm actually talking to people, and 20 if I'm leaving voicemails. Now remember, the point of a prospecting call or a cold call is to create visibility so they know we exist, and credibility. They know we're good at what we do. Those two things you have complete control over. And so a cold call, a prospecting call, whatever you want to call it, is really in your control for the first two steps anyway. And I'm always mindful of the fact that people can't buy from you if they don't know about you. Often that first or second phone call is enough to pique their interest, if they're a qualified prospect, to ask for some more information. And when they ask for that information, that's where your pursuit begins. Now let's jump into what I recommend for clients when they're, baby stepping into the process. I don't want you to go whole hog. It's just like going to the gym. Right? You don't go from not going to the gym to running on the treadmill for an hour and riding the bike for an hour and on the rower for an hour and lifting weights for 2 hours. What you might do is 10 minutes on the bike, or 10 minutes on the trainer, or 10 minutes on the rower, and maybe lift weights, maybe 5 different exercises. Same situation goes with your cold calls. Now, what I like from a timing perspective is to try to hit the windows where people are the most responsive. Now, in my 20 plus years experience selling professional services, I've found there are 3 key times to target. The first is Tuesday afternoons, the second is Thursday mornings, and the third is anytime Friday. Let's talk about why each of those makes sense. Tuesday afternoons are when people who didn't get their work done from the week before tend to have a grip and have caught up with everything from the past. So they spend all day Monday catching up, Tuesday morning basically finishing up, and then Tuesday afternoon they have the week ahead of them. That tends to be where people are in a really good space to have an unexpected conversation, right? You calling without having an appointment. The second best time, I think, really comes from Thursday mornings. And again, when you think of the employee mindset, Thursday morning you start thinking, I'm over hump day, Wednesday, and the weekend is after tomorrow. There tends to be a pretty good outlook for people working in jobs on Thursday morning. So that's my second favorite time. Tuesday afternoons, my third favorite, and I'm doing these in descending order. Thursday mornings, second, and my number one time to call is anytime Friday. Friday tends to be where you get most people that are happy. And again, I'm talking more that employee mindset of, weekend is right upon us. I'm going to finish work today and then I can go and, have a drink and relax and yada, yada, yada. Fridays are great because people that answer the phone tend to be more committed than people that don't on Fridays. You probably have friends, hell, you might even be one of them, that sneak out on Fridays. Look for a way to make Friday a bit of a flex day. If I'm getting somebody in the office on a Friday at 3 o'clock, they're probably my type of person. And so we tend to have a good conversation. Plus, most of the people that I call on Fridays are surprised I'm calling, because most people selling services also don't do it on Friday because they're sneaking out early. And so it really tends to be a super beneficial time to try to catch people. If I only had one time that I could call people and I had to choose a spot, it would probably be 3 to 4 on a Friday. So phase 1 for you as you're moving into this would be you scheduling Tuesday afternoons, Thursday mornings, and sometime Friday. But I don't even want you to do 1 hour of calls. I want you to start with 20 minutes. And 20 minutes from a cold calling perspective would be 1 to 2 conversations if you're getting people, and in most cases you won't, or probably 5 voicemails-ish. And that 20 minutes goes by real quick. Me doing an hour a day, the hour goes by really quick. But with you, I just want you to start 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Tuesday afternoons, Thursday mornings, and sometime Friday. Now, if you're only doing 20 minutes 3 times a week, and again, I'm not minimizing that because that could be a lot more than you're doing right now and that most people do, that 1 hour of calls per week will equate to about 50 hours of calls per year. When we break down the math, saying that we leave voicemails, let's say for 5 people in that hour, that means 250 people who wouldn't have otherwise known about you now know you exist, and hopefully if your pitch is right, you're good at what you do. But if you have the odd conversation, I guarantee you are going to find opportunities to bid work and bid work with the right people. And so what I want you to do, maybe for 3 or 6 months, is just 20 minutes 3 times a week. Once you're done phase 1 and you feel comfortable with it, I want you to move to phase 2. Now, I'm not going to jump you up from 20 minutes to an hour, but what I'm going to do is increase the number of days that you're calling. So I want you to go from Tuesday afternoons and Thursday mornings and sometime Friday to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for 20 minutes each day. I'm not attached to when you call on Monday or on Wednesday, just like I'm not on Friday. And Monday will likely be one of your lesser successful days, but still an important day to call, because people that you get in the office on Monday in a good mood are your type of people. You might get a lot of voicemails or people that are not in the greatest mood, but it doesn't matter. We control visibility and credibility, and so you making those calls are key. On top of that, we talked about if you're doing an hour a week, right, 20 minutes on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, that's 50 hours a year. By adding the 2 extra days on Monday and Wednesday, not only are you conditioning yourself to be more in a habit of business development, but you're increasing your amount of business development hours doing that by 40%. And so that's actually pretty awesome. So let's call that phase 2, which is 20 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. And what I would say again is I want you to do that for 3 to 6 months, right? 6 months, I don't have any issue with you going that long. Then at the end of the first year, and remember the days are long, but the years are short, you could decide how you want to amp it up. Maybe 30 minutes a day, maybe an hour a day. But what I always recommend to clients is start with least amount you can do consistently every day. And so if you think I could probably do an hour most days, but I definitely know that I could do 30 minutes every day, do 30 minutes. And what I would say is do 30 minutes every day, and on days where you can do more, do more. On days where you can't do more, don't do less than the 30 minutes. And that goes with the 20 minutes 3 times a week or 20 minutes 5 times a week. Do the minimum that you know you can do every day, because consistency in business development, much more important than volume. What I tell myself is what gets us busy keeps us busy. And so if we keep on doing the habits, in my case, 1 hour a day, we never want for work. We always have more work than we can handle. And it's always better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Consistency is the magic. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Any questions or comments are welcomed below. And remember, gladiators eat first, and they make prospecting through cold calls a pillar of how they build a multi-million-dollar business. I'll see you in the next video.